Realtors hate for sale by owners, and the reason is because they look at them trying to sell their houses on their own and they think, why are you trying to do this whole thing on your own? You're actually gonna sell for less. And in fact, the National Association of Realtors says that for sale by owners tend to send about 11 to 12% less than if somebody uses a realtor. So why do realtors try to do all of the real estate transaction themselves? What's up, guys? My name is David Brooke. I'm a team leader and I've been in the real estate industry for 10 years. And my job is to break it down for realtors how to actually run their businesses more profitable and earn more money at the end of the day, whether on a team or off a team. Let's get into it. Okay, so let's talk about the process of doing it yourself. Now, many realtors end up saying, I'm gonna wear this as a badge of honor. I'm gonna do every single part of the real estate process themselves. Well, that includes over 180 steps, all the way from not only the intake form for when somebody decides to call you about real estate to presenting your materials out there on social media, or maybe that's once the information's in to get that information from the website to a lot of various sources so you can keep in touch with them, to your drip campaigns, to your client events, and all of these sorts of things. And it ends up getting really exhausting for real estate agents. That's why many realtors, they end up finding pretty exhausted, unsure of what to do every single day. And then they think to themselves, I should do this one thing today and that another day. And they're left totally disorganized. Well, if you don't want to be really disorganized and you want your business to be profitable, then you need to start looking at it as a business. Now, let me get into it and show you exactly how I run my business. Okay, the first thing is that I realized when I got started into real estate, I didn't want to do all the jobs of a real estate agent myself. And the reason was because I wanted to make a lot of money. And the way that you can make a lot of money is you either do everything yourself to try to keep as much of the pie as possible, or you take the opposite approach and you say, I'm gonna focus on the thing that I'm really, really good at, which is lead generating and lead follow-up, and the rest of it, all the other 170 parts of the real estate transaction, I'm gonna have other people do and do as best as they know how. Why? Because it's their only one focus. Now, you may say to yourself, you know what? I've been in the business for 10 years and I really am good at putting in listing descriptions, and I'm really good at, coordinating with photographers, and I'm really good at driving out for every single showing possible. And you pride yourself on that, and I want to congratulate you and I want to support you. That's awesome. You've done that for over 10 years. But the next level for your business is to be able to have other people assist you. Think about any teams and organizations as a whole. Imagine one person versus on a basketball team versus another team that had a full court, but it was all other people. You could never beat them. And the reason is because every single person plays their part. And that would happen in sports. Think about it in music. You could have one person playing solo and that might be pretty cool. But could you have someone play as the whole and compete against an entire orchestra? Absolutely not. It would never work out the same experience, not only for the person there who's making that performance, but the people in the audience who are listening to them. And so constantly we're seeing, whether in nature or in business or in organizations and communities, that teams win and are able to do better than solo, simply because everyone has their own part to it. Now, let's talk about what should be leveraged if you are a real estate agent. Let's talk about all the people and the admin who would go into this process. So I'm gonna break it down. I'm gonna first start with the executive assistant. Now, the executive assistant is typically the first hire that a real estate agent will make. Now, their job, and every hire from here on out, is designed to make the realtor more money, not just to make their life easier. And I wanna say that again. The job of every single hire in the real estate business is not just to make the realtor's life easier, but it's actually to make them more money. So here's the rule of thumb. Anytime that you make a hire, you want that hire to earn you 3 times the amount of whatever you're paying for that service, whatever cost. If you want to pay $10,000 a month for leads, you better be making at least $40,000, $30,000, $40,000 a month in that lead flow from closed business in order to make that worth it. The same as if you hired an assistant for $40,000 or $50,000 a year, you want to make sure that you're earning $120,000, $150,000 worth of business from that activities that happen. And so what does this executive assistant do? Well, the first thing that they're going to do is they're going to be helping you with all of your marketing and all of your lead generation to make sure that you can do it to the best of your abilities. That might be pulling your list from expired and having it ready for you in the morning so that you're able, yes, it makes your life easier, but once you're done with those and you're making your notes, that they get them into your drip campaigns and can help assist in the background, maybe with some follow-up. Number two, it's gonna be to make sure that they help you with your marketing campaigns for your outbound and your outreach. Maybe that's your mailers, maybe that's your social media, maybe they're helping you with all of the outbound activities that get you more business. The job of them is not to start out by helping you, handle your deals more effectively or get them, have them work behind the scenes with escrow checks and all those things. Those are things that would help you make your life easier and maybe make the transaction flow smoother, but your job is to actually go get more business. And when they do that, your pipeline is actually going to get really, really full. Now, the reason I say this, and it is very contradictory to what most people say, and they'll say, hey, start leveraging out all the tasks that you don't want to do. The hard part for that is most people will end up doing that. They'll take the time to train them on doing those tasks. And as soon as they take that time to start training someone on how to do it, they'll start to feel that initial learning curve of training someone and knowing that someone's not gonna get it right away. And they're gonna instantly think to themselves, I could do this myself. I could probably do this easier. While this is costing more money, it's not actually making my life easier. And they'll start to pull back out of the hiring phase very quickly. And I wanna warn you and stop you, don't do this. Go right into the thing that drives most business for you. That's outbound lead gen activity. So whatever you do, I don't care if you knock doors, have them go with you. If you make calls for expireds, have them help you make that better. If you reach out to Sphere of Influence and do referrals, have them help set up your items of value or do pop buys with you. Anything to help you earn more dollars. That's the job of an executive assistant. Okay, the next job of the executive assistant is as the business grows, you may start to leverage out either to another virtual assistant or someone else in the business, and these people are gonna help you with your inbound communications that start to happen inside of your inbox, your calendar, or any of your transactions. This role is hard, it's hard to quantify as much as those who are in the lead gen process, but it's gonna allow that communication to happen even faster. Let me give you an example. That person should be helping you with, maybe in your inbox, someone says, hey, I wanna go see a property. Help schedule up that showing. Help get those disclosures out to them. Help get that listing out there and helping service those clients better so you can keep that level of quality of service up while you're continuing your lead generation. Remember, anytime you step back from your lead generation or your lead follow-up, it's gonna impact your flow of revenue, which is gonna cause your brain to say, I wanna pull back from leverage, I wanna pull back from hiring, I wanna pull back from getting a support system, and I'll just do it myself. Please do not go down this road. This is a very messy middle for people. There's actually this little slope where you actually need to take 2 steps back to go like 4 or 5 steps forward. You gotta get through that process. It's a little bit of a surf there, but once you get beyond it, it starts getting easier. Okay, so that second assistant is designed to help you in that and will allow you to grow your business even more. Okay, let's talk about your third hire. If you're a real estate professional and you want to grow your business, that is going to be your transaction coordinator and listing coordinator roles. Now, these will start out as one role and then they eventually split into 2 roles. And the reason will just be for the amount of volume or deal flow that you have. At the start, you're gonna realize that that second assistant is probably helping out with some of your transactions. That role might actually morph into or give way to that transaction coordinator or listing coordinator role. Now, those roles should be super in-depth. Most people are actually used to transaction coordinators who just tell you, yes, your contract dates are this, and the bank needs to get the mortgage by this date, and the inspector will be out the property by this date. That's like the first basic level of being a transaction coordinator, is just date reminders. The next level up from that we seek is the actual communication back and forth with the real estate professionals, all of them involved. That could be the realtors, the brokers, that could be the insurance, that could be lenders, that could be attorneys, title company, everyone involved, so that they can actually help push the deal along faster. That's the idea of the transaction coordinator. Their job isn't to just remind everyone of dates, it's actually to push the transaction along faster and to be able to preemptively handle the buyer and sellers, the client's questions before they get asked. Hey, we want to let you know that your mortgage commitment is coming up. Here's a few things that could mean. I'm going to tee you up with a conversation with David should you have any questions. Hey, it looks like your inspection's coming up. Here's a few things that David recommends that you bring to a showing. Here's also a video that he's recorded for you. Let me know if you have any questions. I'd be happy to tee up a phone call with you. By the way, David, I've already set this up with you to get coffee for that date for the actual home inspection. All of these are ways that you can actually level up the experience of your transaction coordinator or your listing coordinator. Now, related, that listing coordinator has the ability as well to go above and beyond. They could initially start out by maybe inputting your listing to the MLS or making a social media post. That is bare minimum. That is basic. The next level from that is going to be able to have a coordination conversation with you and with the client. hey, let's get your stager out there. Let's see what they recommended from the home prep appointment and how to make the house actually sell faster and better. Hey, let's make sure that we can get the photography in there. Let me coordinate everybody's schedules together. That's that next level of client care, which allow you to get more referrals in the process, and that's why you leverage that out so you're not spending your time doing that. Now you may ask the question at this point, why am I not just having my executive assistants handle that? You can, but the moment that you or your assistants take your mindset off of lead generation, that is the moment that you actually move into a service industry rather than into a lead generation industry. You're gonna make your money on lead generation, not on service. I know some people who provide an amazing service to their clients, but they're always capped at doing 2, maybe 3 deals a month. Sometimes in the best months, they're like 5 or 6. But what they end up doing is they end up getting stressed because they end up leveraging out their lead generation instead of leveraging out their actual service process. This is so important, guys. If you don't do this, if you don't dive into lead generation and keep that as your main focus, then you're always gonna be in the service part of your business and you're gonna wonder why your business can't grow. All right, let me go beyond that. Let's say that you actually start growing beyond this. This is when you're gonna start to bring in other real estate agents into the process, because if you keep on lead generation, then you're gonna realize I've got more buyers and sellers than I could possibly handle myself, and I want to have the ability to lend that out to other real estate agents. Now, I wanna be clear here. If you start giving away those deals to other people, then it's actually your sphere of influence that's gonna end up as that buyer agent sphere of influence. And then you're gonna start to realize right at the start, why am I giving this to someone who then the deal's gonna close with them, and my client or sphere of influence is gonna remember that person rather than remembering me. And this is why I'd highly suggest you build into it now, called the buyer agent or the showing partner model. In this case, what you're gonna do is you're gonna actually leverage out even part of your lead generation. Once again, you're keeping the focused lead generation to a partner who you have in the business. And this person gets to be on your buyer consults with you. They're in the group text messages for showings with you. They're literally entrenched into every single part of the real estate transaction on the buyer side. They're there so that when someone says, oh, I saw this property on Zillow, can you take a look? Or, oh, I saw this property on Realtor.com, can you take a look at this one? What do you think about the comps on here? You're able to jump in on specific parts. You're gonna remain the point of contact when it comes to negotiation. You're gonna remain the point of contact when it comes to maybe like some more strategic things that might be comps or valuation or whatever. But when it comes to actually getting into the properties, coordinating with a listing agent or anything like that, you're gonna have that partner, that showing partner, be out there on the field. Now, what my partner and I work out is we work out actually, and it might sound shocking to many of you, we work at a very, very low split for every single transaction, because that person knows that they've got a mentor through the process the entire way. This allows me to retain company dollar for myself and allow that business to grow, where it allows someone else the ability where they're making more than they would normally just doing any showing assistance, and allows them that experience to grow in a very consistent manner. Who you're looking for in this position is someone who is very hungry, humble, and smart, who's looking to grow their business as well alongside yours. This will allow you to retain your entire sphere of influence, still be able to lead generate and grow your book of business, with you both seeing as partnerships in here without you being distanced away from the transaction. Now, I wanna make a quick pause right here to just let you guys know if at any part in this process of the video, you think to yourself, man, I wish I had more help here. I wish I knew how to do this. I don't know how to grow my own business. I'm already doing 10 million, 20 million, $30 million worth of business, and I just don't know how to get to the next level. I want you guys to just go ahead and subscribe now. Go ahead, there's a link below in the description. Reach out, book a discovery call with me, and you can see why we're training agents on teams to earn far more than they do, even on solo, by getting the right people in the right places. Maybe you're a team leader and you're thinking for yourself, man, yeah, that's cool, man. I'm never gonna join your team. I'm never gonna do that. I'm not asking you to, but if you're thinking, you know, I wish I understood how to get these models in place for myself. I wish someone could teach me how. You want the right resources to do that. You wanna see some groups that I'm a part of that can train you and how to get here faster, then go ahead and click that link in the description below. I'll be happy to get that to you. All right, guys, so let's keep going here. Let's say that you're on the process and you've got that buyer agent, that showing assistant model here. You can continue to replicate this multiple times, just as long as you keep in the lead generation role. As soon as you step out of there, and I'm gonna say this again and again, go ahead, and if you think that I'm boring with this, this will save you hundreds of thousands of dollars. I've literally lost millions of dollars in trying to run this team myself by learning all the bad things myself. So it might sound easy for me to say it to you. That doesn't discount all the scars that it took and all the wasted dollars learning that every time I got into the service thing, instead of the lead generation, I actually lost money. So keep that the main focus. Okay, so after that, you're gonna actually need someone who manages all of the processes of your lead flow. So My strong suggestion is that your next hire is actually an ISA. This is an inside sales assistant. This person is once again completely focused on outbound lead generation. You'll start to get it from me. If you don't understand by now, revenue is the focus. It's people over profit, but everyone in the people are focused on how we can actually make themselves and the company more profit. So how do we do this? That inside salesperson is going to be completely focused on lead generating, on those old leads, those cold leads that, let's be honest, even as buyer agents and even as team leaders, we struggle making our outbound calls in the same sales cadence that we would think would be most desirable. Now, how do we do this? Well, we need to first create a sales cadence that we believe is appropriate for our market. That might be 2 calls in the first day, 3 calls in the second day, a call on the 5th day, and a call on the 6th day with emails in between and a few text messages, maybe a reel or some sort of social media connection at some point. In any case, I want you to build that out for the first 8 days and then again for the next 60 days and then a huge long-term one as well. These are 3 drip campaigns I'm happy to share with you if you want to talk more about it. But we have these drip campaigns in place and tasks that the inside sales associate is able to follow up with as soon as a lead we've determined that, you know what, that they're not ready to buy right yet, but it doesn't mean that they're not a good lead, they're just not ready right yet, so we might need to follow up with them. This would be someone whose entire job is focused on lead generation and lead follow-up, and they're constantly there teeing up appointments for your team. Now, they're going to focus on teeing up appointments that are qualified. We define qualified appointments as someone who's not working with another agent already, and I mean exclusively signed. They could be talking to a bunch of agents, but they can't be exclusively signed. Number 2, they've got to be in a position where they're ready to get pre-approved, or they've got some proof of funds, and they're willing to at least have a conversation. And number 3, they're ready to buy a house in the next 6 months. So we want them talking with our real estate agents at that point. If they're not, they're going to stay in that process inside of our CRM, inside of our contact resource management system, that our ISAs are going to continue to follow up with them. So that is my next hire, is going to be the ISA. That's going to help you scale and grow your business while you stay top of mind from your customers and sphere of influence by doing your lead generation, lead follow-up. Okay, so what's your next hire after this? This hire is a really complicated one. It's a role that actually morphs, and it depends on where you want to take your business. If you want to take your business into, I'm just going to grow as a singular individual with a bunch of resources and help behind me, but I'm really not trying to actually grow a team for the purpose of the team producing and that growing in and of itself, you either have to make a choice in the road, whether you're going to have someone who's going to manage your operations or someone who's going to manage people. And this is a really critical point in the growth process of a real estate organization. And if you take one of the approaches or other, it doesn't mean you can't go and actually grow into both. My team actually has both of these because we've grown to such a degree. But in the initial onset, you have to decide for yourself, am I going to stay in the role of lead generation and servicing clients, or do I want to roll into the process of being a leader of people and helping them grow their business as fast as possible? Now, I'll give you a quick disclaimer here. If you go down the people route, you are going to have to go absolutely ridiculous in trying to grow your business as fast as possible by attracting real estate agents to help you grow the business, because those are going to be your lifeblood and you want to see them succeed. That means that you're going to be spending up late at nights helping them deal doctor, follow up with their leads, encouraging, training, leading, motivating, and doing all of those things that help them grow their business. This is, as Zig Ziglar would say, if you help people get what they want enough, you will eventually get what you want. And their goal is to earn money, earn $100,000, earn $200,000, pay off debt, grow their businesses. That should be your number one focus. How can I help agent A, agent B, agent C get their goals as quickly as possible? And in turn, you actually win. So if you do that route, then you're going to handle your next hire, which is going to be some sort of manager of all personnel. So you can call that a chief of staff. You can call that someone who's like head over your admin department and over a sales manager role, someone who's handling people. Your other role is if you want to keep it in-house and you want to just say, no, I love doing sales, I want to be out there on all the listings, maybe someone else can handle the buyers, then you're going to want to go the director of operations route. And that person is someone who is completely focused on all of your operations. They're looking in your CRMs, they're paying your bills for you. Some people might disagree with me, but if you hate paying bills and you got things on auto pay, they might be inside, like an accountant role, and they're there really making sure the team is operating at full efficiency. They're testing your systems. If someone has a problem with your systems, someone's going over there, and that's going to be a director of operations. Now, both of these roles are very challenging because it's hard to quantify. Like I said at the beginning, they actually have to triple their value or their cost. So if they cost $60,000 or $70,000, then they need to earn you at least, maybe $180,000 or $200,000 or more worth of actual income. Now, how is this quantified? That's another challenging point, because you'd be able to say, well, if I got someone who was able to manage the people, then I could take on 3 or 4, 10 more real estate agents, which could actually bring in that revenue for the business. Or if you went down the operations scale point, then you could say, well, someone else is going to manage the business, so I'm not going to lose all of that opportunity cost of lost revenue from all of these older leads, and making sure that all of our systems run operationally really, really well. This is how you start to get to an organization that is selling hundreds of homes every single year. You can also make other moves in the business, like hiring VAs in order to assist and back up in the process. I'm going to give you a couple of examples of what they can do. Okay, so let's talk about virtual assistants and how they can actually help scale your real estate business, whether you're a team leader, broker, owner, or if you're solo and operating in the real estate space alone. Well, VAs have an amazing capability of being able to help you out with some of the menial tasks that you'll show up with. That could be some of the database management, that could be some lead follow-up in the background, that can also be writing offers for you. It could be actually managing your schedule, it could be editing your video. There's so many of these little jobs that can get done that someone can actually assist with. These are roles that we actually have in our company that allow real estate agents to actually have to do less for themselves and actually have this done for them, so that they can once again continue to focus on lead generation and lead follow-up. So hey, hopefully guys, this helped you and just getting a bigger picture and a bigger idea of how your real estate organization can start to grow. If you thought that this was helpful and you always wanted to know, man, that sounds great, it seems like a pathway that you've done before and you want to know how I've done it, go ahead and click a link below. You can book a discovery call with me. I'd be happy to share with you and your organization, no matter how big or small it is, how to get to the next step. Thanks so much, guys. We'll see you on the next video all about real estate.